You're born into wealth, not the kind with yachts and champagne fountains just yet, but close enough. Your father, Fred Trump, has already made a name for himself in the world of real estate, though it's not exactly a name that will get you invited to any dinner parties in Manhattan. Fred is strict, focused, and obsessed with building. He's the type who measures success in bricks, square footage, and profits. Your mom, Mary, a Scottish immigrant, is the calm in the storm, though she's not exactly raising you to be humble. Your childhood is comfortable, but there's always a pressure to be more louder, richer, tougher. At age 13, your dad sends you to New York Military Academy. Whether it's to instill discipline or to prevent you from drifting into teenage chaos, it works sort of. The academy teaches you to take orders and give them back louder. You're not just learning how to shine shoes or march in a straight line. You're learning how to act like a leader whether people agree with you or not. By college, you're on the move. You start at Fordham University but soon transfer to Wharton, one of the most prestigious business schools in the country. With your father's connections, you slide in, and once you're there, you don't waste time blending in. You're not interested in study groups. You're watching the way businesses are built, how power moves through boardrooms, and how to win, even if it means bending the rules a bit. After graduation, you jump straight into the family business. But you don't want to build modest apartments in Queens. You want Manhattan? You want skyscrapers. You want your name lit up in gold, and thanks to your father's money and your own relentless confidence, you get your shot. In 1978, you open the Grand Hyatt Hotel next to Grand Central Station. It's your first big move, and it works. It's flashy, ambitious, and just over the top enough to grab attention. Soon, the name Trump is showing up on buildings, casinos, planes, even bottled water. If it can hold a logo, you'll put your name on it. The 1980s are your golden years. You're making deals, appearing on magazine covers, and acting like the king of New York real estate. But here's the thing about gambling with big money. It doesn't always pay off. As the market shifts in the early 90s, your empire begins to wobble, fast. You go bankrupt multiple times. Not personally at first, but your businesses suffer. Hotels, airlines, casinos, you're filing Chapter 11 like it's a yearly tradition. Most people would disappear after that. You don't. You just rebrand. You call yourself a master of the comeback, and weirdly it works. Instead of hiding, you lean into the spotlight even harder. Then in 2004, something unexpected happens. The Apprentice premieres. Business-themed reality show where contestants compete for a job with you. The format is simple: challenges, boardroom showdowns, and one famous catchphrase.
You're fired.
It's cheesy, but it hits. Suddenly, people who couldn't name a single one of your buildings now know your face. You become a TV personality, a symbol of success. Whether you actually are or not doesn't really matter. You sell the image. In America, sometimes the image is more valuable than reality. You ride that wave for over a decade. Then in 2015, you do something nobody expects. You announce that you're running for president of the United States. At first, it sounds like a PR stunt. You're not a politician. You've never held office. But you know how to stir the pot, and you've built an entire career off getting attention. Your campaign kicks off with tough talk about immigration, trade, and making America great again. People either love it or hate it. There's no middle ground. But that's exactly what you want. You're not running a traditional campaign. You're running a spectacle. And somehow it's working. In 2016, you beat out a crowded field of Republican candidates. Then, against all odds, you defeat Hillary Clinton in the general election. Overnight, you go from reality TV star to president of the United States. That's when things get messy. From day one, your presidency is unlike anything the country's seen before. You tweet constantly. You battle the media. You launch executive orders like you're firing off fireworks. Your administration is a mix of business associates, loyalists, and political outsiders. Washington, D.C. isn't ready for you. Maybe that was the point. You push policies your base loves and critics hate. You begin building a wall at the southern border. You pull out of international agreements. Regulations. Supporters call it bold. Opponents call it reckless. Either way, no one's ignoring you. Then come the investigations. The Mueller probe into Russian interference in the 2016 election consumes headlines. You call it a witch hunt. Half the country believes you. The other half thinks you're obstructing justice, but it doesn't stop you. In 2019, you're impeached for the first time, this time over a phone call with Ukraine. The House votes yes, the Senate says no. You stay in office. Then comes 2020. The pandemic hits, the economy nosedives, and tensions explode across the country. You downplay the virus, argue with scientists, and hold rallies while cities lock down. You catch COVID-19 yourself but recover quickly. To your supporters, it's proof you're strong. To others, it's a disaster in leadership. That November, you lose the election to Joe Biden, but you don't accept the results. You claim fraud, file lawsuits, and rally supporters with talks of a stolen election. On January 6, 2021, the world watches in shock as a crowd storms the U.S. Capitol, many of them inspired by your words. It's one of the darkest days in American political history. You're impeached again, and again you're acquitted. Most political careers would end here. You go quiet for a while. Then in 2023, you announce another campaign. People roll their eyes. They've seen this movie before. But you're serious. You're running again, this time against Vice President Kamala Harris. And once again, the country is split right down the middle. Against the odds, you win. The date is November 5th, 2024. The votes are counted. You're back. For some, it's a second chance. For others, it's a nightmare. But the chaos doesn't stop. On January 13th, 2025, during a campaign rally near Butler, Pennsylvania, tragedy strikes. A 20-year-old gunman, Thomas Matthew Crooks, fires 8 rounds from a rooftop. One bullet grazes your right ear. It's a close call, closer than any you've had before. You survive and you're still at the top, or at least on top of the headlines, depending on your perspective. But the message is clear. The division you've built your brand on has real-world consequences. People aren't just arguing online anymore, they're taking action. Some see you as a savior. Others see you as a threat. And now, someone has tried to end your life because of it. Bankruptcies, reality TV fame, a controversial presidency, and now, somehow, still president in 2025. Whether you love him or hate him, one thing's for sure. The Trump brand is like a cockroach. No matter how many times it gets stomped on, it keeps coming back. Is it a great American story? It's something. But whether you think it's brilliant or a hot mess, it's a life that'll keep people talking for decades to come.